1 week removed from being on the losing end of a one-point game to Arkansas, Ole Miss found itself on the other end when wide receiver DK Metcalf caught a touchdown with 5 seconds left to give the Rebels 45 a 3,734 win over Kentucky. Louisiana 44 heads to Oxford following last week's 1914 win at South Alabama. The Ragin Cajuns have won 3 of their last 4 games and are just 2 wins away from securing back-to-back bowl appearances. Ole Miss is a perfect 40 against Louisiana as the Rebels have dominated the head-to-head meetings for the most part. The last game between these two teams was in 2014 when Ole Miss won 5,615. Louisiana at Ole Miss kickoff Saturday, November 11th at 12 p.m. ET TV channel SEC Network spread Ole Miss 18.53 things to watch 1. Ole Miss quarterback Jordan Ta'amu. Rebels fans had a collective gasp when it was announced that star sophomore quarterback Shea Patterson would miss the remainder of the season after suffering a knee injury against LSU last month. In stepped Ta'amu above right and the junior college transfer HASNT disappointed. Last week against Kentucky he finished with 382 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, including the game winner to DK Metcalf. Prior to that against Arkansas, Ta'amu had 368 yards through the air while adding 76 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Ta'amu should be able to continue his success through the air against a Louisiana defense that's giving up 252 passing yards per game to rank in the bottom third among FBS teams, tied for 96th. 2. Louisiana RB Trey Ragin vs. Ole Miss poor run D. Even though interim head coach Matt Luke is now in charge, the Rebels' run defense is just as porous as it was under Hugh Freeze last year. Entering this game, Ole Miss is 126th nationally against the run at 256 rushing yards per game. Only 3 other teams have fared worse in this department. Even though the Rebels won last week, Kentucky running back Benny Snell Jr. gashed them for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ragin is 4th in rushing in the Sun Belt with 626 yards and his 7 touchdowns on the ground are good for a tie for 3rd. A freshman, Ragin ran for 84 yards on 17 carries in the Ragin's Cajuns win over South Alabama last week. He has 3 other games with more rushing yards, including a season-high 130 against Tulsa on September 9th. Besides all of the yards, Ole Miss also has surrendered 22 rushing touchdowns. Only 15 other FBS teams have given up more, one of those being Louisiana 25. 3. Ole Miss wide receiver A.J. Brown, a star at Starkville High School. Brown decided to stay in the Magnolia State but not close to home when he spurned Mississippi State, among other programs, and signed with Ole Miss. After having a limited impact as a freshman, Brown has blossomed in his sophomore season. He leads the SEC in receiving yards with 830, is tied for first in receptions 84 and tied for second with 7 touchdown catches. His yards and yards per game 92.2 are good enough to also place him among the top 15 receivers in the nation. Whether it's been Patterson or Ta'amu at quarterback, Brown has been a reliable target. He had a team-high 7 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown last week against Kentucky. Louisiana has had its issues against the pass and the Ragin Cajuns will no doubt have their hands full trying to slow down the 6'1", 225-pound Brown. On Saturday, final analysis: Ole Miss has yet to lose to Louisiana in 4 previous matchups, yet this is the type of game that can make a coach queasy. The Ragin Cajuns still have plenty to play for, needing just 2 wins to become bowl eligible, and could have a running back in Trey Ragin capable of taking advantage of the Rebels' underwhelming run defense. With that said, a lot will have to go wrong for Ole Miss to fall victim to an upset at home. Even with no Shea Patterson at quarterback, Jordan Ta'amu has shown himself to be plenty of capable and the Rebels have too much firepower on offense for Louisiana to overcome. Prediction: Ole Miss 31, Louisiana 17, written by Elton Hayes, who is part of the Athlon Contributor Network. A sports reporter for the Meridian Star newspaper, Hayes also has been an invited guest on the Paul Feinbaum Show. Follow him on Twitter at ed12. Top photo courtesy of www.ragingcajuns.com.